Hello, welcome to our PLC, the Biology PLC. We usually have two people on the team, but Miss C is gone, so I have Mr. Johnson, and so we're going to conduct the PLC with one person, if that's okay. Okay, Mr. Johnson, let's go into the norms. I'm going to read to you our norms. Okay. We're going to maintain and demonstrate the school's vision. So the school's vision is Iroquois High School will advocate for every student's equitable access to opportunities that are championed by culturally proficient staff and diverse stakeholders who proudly partner together. So that's one of our norms. We're going to maintain the school's vision. We're going to honor the team's time. We're going to be a contributing partner in the discussion. Call out any inequity practices, and then we're going to maintain confidentiality.
Okay.
So today our goal is to determine where students demonstrate mastery of the standards, and then determine what shifts in instructional practices should take place to meet the needs of students who did not demonstrate mastery.
Okay.
So I understand that we are on the third unit. Mm-hmm. We've done unit 1, which is the ecosystems, and then unit 2, evolution, and now we're on to unit 3, genetics. Okay, so determine where students demonstrate mastery of the skills, of the standards. So what we've pulled up here, Mr. Johnson, on your computer and on mine, we actually have the mastery, what is it called? Maybe the mastery.
This is for assignment lesson 3.5, and it's a mastery assignment. And you're looking now on Dr. Baker's computer, a form that was developed for us to keep up with how many had mastery, how many were approaching mastery, and how many were far away from mastery. So bottom line is, on this lesson 3.5, we had 69% proficient. Out of those numbers, 121 were proficient, 28 were approaching proficient, and 27 were far from proficient, and 25 or maybe 75 were absent that day.
Okay, 75 were absent that day. Okay.
And that's a problem with our school. We have a lot of absences when we have announced tests coming up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you said it was more of a percentage that was proficient.
There were 69% out of two teachers' classes. That would make a total of 10 biology classes. 69% were proficient.
Okay. As far as determining what shifts in instructional practices should take place to meet the needs of those who didn't demonstrate mastery, what do you think about that? What should you all do? What shifts have you seen in instructional practices?
Well, as the years gone on, we've learned how to teach some of the children or students the ways they can understand it better than maybe that they did when they first got here. Mm-hmm. They learned our techniques and what we were looking for. A lot of them were expecting to be thought about the content of biology, but using the next generation science standards, it's all about making models, reading data, discussing data in class. It's more data driven than it is content driven. Mm-hmm. And one of the APs, Dr. Kingsley, talked to us about it. That's what the ACT's coming to. So that's what we're really looking for, from the way to learn biology, plus interpret the data and communicate the data.
In order to help with the ACT.
Well, that and just help them in general. for college, because it's a data-driven world anymore. So bottom line, we were all dreading this 6-7 years ago when we went to NGSS, but I don't think there's a person in the building now that regrets it for science teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, remediation goes back to, we have ESS, extra service time. We have morning, or half afternoon. We have designated Saturday schools. We reteach in the classroom. Another program we started just recently is keeping up with all the data for the common formative assessments. And on that, we decide then whether we need to reteach, have group discussions, group partnerships, or reading and studying on their own. And it works really well.
Okay. And I'm not sure if you've already done this or not, Mr. Johnson, but could you share a time when a group of students with similar skills, they experienced the success of the result of what we did here?
Oh, several times. Well, we've been talking about genetics in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I've had students who weren't even willing to try anything. And I think a lot of it was because they were ashamed that they couldn't do it and didn't want to look bad to the other students. But after we sat down with them and worked with them individually and in groups, I've had one little girl that never said anything said, "Well, that's not hard. That's interesting. It's fun."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, it is. It's learning's fun." So that's basically what we're looking at.
Okay. Let's see. And I know we have talked about the barriers. A lot of the students come to us with barriers at Iroquois High School. Absenteeism is one of them. So how do we kind of fight against that? Or is there a way we can? Maybe there's nothing we can do. But what do you think about absenteeism here at Iroquois High?
Well, our PLC decided we'd dangle a carrot on a stick, and if we get them started and give them some success and let them keep going after that carrot and keep going after it, and after a while they do get better at it. We've got a lot of, at Iroquois we have a large English second language learners. We've got a lot of absenteeism. The neighborhood, from what we've talked to parents and stuff, education is not their top priority sometimes. So it's hard to get them to come to school, especially when they know they're going to be tested. And sometimes we do a test we don't tell them about, but then they won't come back for the next one maybe. It's really, it's a population that we're having to deal with that education is not their main concern, some of them. Now,
But
they're
if
going to need it later on, but that's not right now.
But if you're dangling that carrot,
We're
to the
picking up
students.
some of those and going get far. You can do more with that, I think, than you can trying to push them toward it. You let them see that it's good, how it works, and maybe it will actually make them want to try harder.
okay.
And let me give you a good sign of it. I had 2 girls this year, and they set up an office. They said, "We want to see Mr. Johnson." Well, they come down here. To be honest with you, I couldn't even remember their names. But I've had so many over the last 4 or 5 years. Both of them were in nursing school, and they said it's what we learned. But you talking about nursing and hospital and all of these things that we study about.
Yeah.
And we just want to let you know that we appreciate you.
Wow.
That was something else.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I'll
And
bet.
and they weren't 2 of the best students at all. They weren't 2 I would have thought of that wouldn't even think about nursing. But they were really excited about it. They
Yeah.
were both going to JCCC in the nursing program.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good when they come back, when the
Right.
students come back and, you know,
And people are all the time. And me and Miss Cunningham and all of our teachers try to teach everybody like they belong, and they can learn. And we hold high expectations, but we want to push them toward those high expectations, not drag them along.
yeah. Okay. Let's see. The action item. So we need to list specific steps to help support our protocol in on the biology team. So what would you say the next steps are? What supports or instructional routines will help to lead students to mastery? What do you think those steps are?
Well, a lot of our students, like I said, were English second language learners, and a lot of them are not on grade level. A lot of them have trouble reading, and we're trying to incorporate now a literacy program. And a lot of our work that we do in biology, they read an article, a scientific article, then we talk about it, then they answer questions about it and talk to each other about it. So literacy is a big part of that, especially with the English language learners and the poor readers. And it's hard for them to express in writing too. So we do a practice on doing that. We help them with it. We'll sit down with it. They feel free now, after we've had them this long, to come up and say, how could I say this better? And we help them say it better.
Okay. Now we're almost finished, Mr. Johnson. One more question. By the end of the week, what do you think? Well, I'll say the end of next week,
Okay.
because we're going to be on spring break.
Right, we're going to skip a week.
But what do you think by the end of the following week? What do you think that we can? Let's see, students who will still need support. What do you think we can do, and how will we build on that understanding towards mastery of the
Okay.
standards?
All right. The week of the spring break, the school is planned for any students that will be willing to come to have like a 3-hour work period, like on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of that week, to come in and help them with mastery of assignments, the mastery of standards
Okay.
that we're covering, or anything that they fell behind in. And then actually we're going to have summer school coming up here in about 6 or 8 weeks. We have ESS mornings and afternoons. And then actually some of us are donating our planning time, doing it planning other times, to help get some of these kids that can't read and can't understand or don't speak English well to get caught up on the assignments
Okay.
and make mastery of the standards.
Okay. Well, I think that's it, Mr. Johnson. And I hated that we only had one person. I mean, not that I hated you,
No,
Mr.
I know.
Johnson, but we only had one person for our PLC today. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. I can't really assign any roles because it's only
two of us.
only two of us here. So I do appreciate you, Mr. Johnson, and I appreciate the work you've done, or we've done in biology,
Right.
to get students to proficient.
Right.
Some of them have, as you said earlier in your data there, some of them are proficient and then others are not.
Right.
So we have to figure out how we can move them anyway. They may not get to proficient.
Well, actually, I think it's a mind thing for part of them. They've got to understand that it's all right to make a mistake. It's all right not to have a perfect grade, as long as they try to improve that imperfect grade
Yeah,
or imperfect
yeah.
understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
And we tell you all the time, science, you learn a lot by making mistakes. And that goes with anything besides science.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks again, and thank you all. That's it.
All right.